Good to see y'all. It's good to be back. Had a great summer break, family time, and we've been back now with some of the younger players for the last two days, 2.5 days. So got some good work in already, and good to see a lot of the vets rolling into the building today. And here we go, ready to get back at it and make 2023 our best year yet. So a lot of work ahead of us, and we'll just, same way you eat an elephant, one bite at a time, and just take it one day at a time. So can answer any questions you have.
What's the joy in watching conditions?
I don't know if there's any joy in it, but there's joy in knowing mine is behind me from yesterday. So we knocked it out with the rookies, and so I'll just be watching, cheering my teammates on, I think was how they said I would be handling it today.
Documentary. What are some of the reactions that have stood out to you from friends, family, teammates?
Yeah, really just friends reaching out, sending texts, just saying they've enjoyed watching it. Usually they're texting because there was something about it that either was an inside joke with them or that they didn't realize would be in there. It was true of me. I just had a musical artist that I met this offseason who texted me about the T-shirt I had from high school choir about being a tenor. So, you get all kinds of texts, but been a positive response. We went out there for the premiere just for a quick trip in and out, and that was very positive. Get around Marcus, get around Patrick. It was a lot of fun to be around them and feel like we'd kind of lived the same lives with the Netflix deal, lived the same lives being quarterbacks in this league, and so being around them and their wives was also a real cool deal. So good deal, and hopefully it's positive for the Vikings too as an organization, and we'll keep building.
A little bit in the past about people maybe not knowing you as well as you'd hoped.
Yeah.
Did that documentary give people a little better window into, or did that bridge any of that gap in your opinion?
Hopefully it did. Hopefully it bridged that gap. I think there's still more meat on the bone. I mean, you can only do so much with edits and how much access you're allowed to have. I think there's still a lot more there. So if you guys want to dig deep, I'm sure you can find some stuff. But and I'll try to be as interesting as I can for you if you do that. But I thought it did a good job. It certainly stoked the flame, if you will, to help people understand that.
How do you think it expressed the violence of the game and the things that players, including you guys, have to do in the days after that to put yourself back together? Because I know that's one thing that doesn't always translate when people watch games on TV.
Yeah. Well, it's not something you want to advertise. So I'm going to stand up here and lie through my teeth that I feel great every week to you guys. That's just the way it's got to be. So the documentary obviously may tell a different story. But the other thing is running quarterbacks, there's a lot of attention on you get hit running the football, which you do. The pockets can be pretty violent too. And so there's a place for just because you're in the pocket doesn't mean you're safe. Many times, no flinch, staring down the barrel is just as violent. So I think that gave a little bit of that understanding. But I'm fortunate to have not been more beat up, in my years and the number of games and things. I've been very fortunate, and that's a testament to coaches with the way they call plays, protecting me. It's a testament to running backs, seeing backside corners blitzing at the last second and peeling them off so I don't get hit. It's a testament to right guard, right tackle, handling a TE twist and being able to pick it up. So there's a lot of other people that can kind of prevent that from getting out of hand.
They focus on that Buffalo hit and the Washington hit. Are those what you would call like above average hits, standard hits, really hard, painful hits, and compared to the other ones you've taken?
The pain that came from them was more above average, but the hit itself is pretty standard. There's a few you'll get popped and you'll sit there for a second and think, no, I'm good. Nothing hurts. I'm going to get up, we're good. And then there's other ones that you thought weren't a big deal, but something's left hurting after the fact. So they're all different, but usually you can get yourself back together pretty quick.
Kirk, did you hear from any other quarterbacks around the league, or maybe even former guys around that after the documentary came out?
I'm trying to think. I don't talk to too many quarterbacks. I talked to retired guys a little bit. Haven't heard from a ton of them, but little bit, but not a ton. I don't know that we run in circles a lot together. I think partly because it's competition and partly because we're just doing our own thing. But
yeah. Is there anything to you about Patrick or Marcus's routines or the way they went about their work? Because I know you're always interested
Yeah.
in seeing how other people
Oh, yeah.
function.
Yeah. I think Patrick's diligence with whether it was Bobby Stroop, his body work guy, the amount of time he was putting in away from the building. I mean, I was pretty impressed with that. You know, I'd be exhausted going, finishing your day at work and then going over to that facility and grinding again. It's pretty impressive, and again, not something you would normally see or expect. So yeah, and then Marcus, I had lived, having a baby during the season. We lived that once, and building the crib, I did that once. Brought furniture home from IKEA and assembled it, and did that whole deal. And you're like, should I be doing this right? This is my best use of time right now. But it's part of being a dad and a husband and having a family, and you're also a football player. So seeing all that was kind of fun too.
In the ring, it's going to be a special time capsule to show your boys down the road.
Yeah,
Like,
I think so.
Cooper, understand, like, did you watch it with him, and was he able to kind of grasp it?
Yeah, no, we haven't watched it yet. Thankfully, it'll always be there, so we can go back to it. I did find myself, as I saw it, or even as I was at the premiere, thinking, this is going to be pretty cool in like 5-6 years to show my boys. Cooper's getting there. This year will be fun. Because this will be the first year where he'll probably come to the games, know what's going on a little bit. I remember 2 years ago, my wife took him to Ford Field for our game that we lost in the last play. And he was laying on the concrete floor in the second half. When is this going to be over, kind of a thing. So, it's a tight game, like exciting, and he's just laying on the floor coloring, like, oh, why am I here? My wife got home from that game. She's like, never again will I take a 4-year-old to a game. So thankfully, our organization provides childcare for the staff and the families, so that's awesome. But, yeah, usually Cooper and Turner go to the game. They have a blast playing with, snakes that they bring in and different toys and stuff. So, but this year I think Coop being 6 years old, he'll be able to engage with it, which should be fun.
Your moments with Kevin on the sideline, some tense moments,
Yeah.
some stressful moments. How did
Yeah.
that relationship kind of evolve over the season? How will that maybe continue to do so this year?
I think it will evolve. I think, more time together, more time under task. Just in his office this morning and just bouncing ideas off of, hey, what's the message to the team at the start of training camp? And, how can I back that message up with the way I relate to guys? And it's just good communication, and, that will continue. I think, too, being able to reference, hey, remember last year in Washington in the third quarter when this happened? And you can say, yeah, and we were in this protection. So to be able to reference that old stuff, I think the same is true in the quarterback room with Chris O'Hara, with Nick Mullins, to be able to say, we've all been together now. Let's go back to what happened last November, December, January, and we can draw on that and have all had that shared experience. I think that really helps. And that's what I had with Clint Kubiak, with Sean Mannion. We had those years together where you could really keep moving forward at a fast pace because everybody had been together for so long.
Harrison Smith said that he didn't know if he could do what you did. He'd be too angry or mad on a Monday and being that hurt, getting into a cold tub. Did you sometimes have to grin and bear it when there's a camera in front of you and you're feeling that pain?
I knew what I signed up for, and I felt like I just wanted to be authentic and let people into what this looks like. NFL Films and our organization was phenomenal at making sure that nobody knew what was going on, that it was non-intrusive. They just did a great job with that part of it, which was really, I wouldn't have agreed to do it if it was at all like so obvious that they were here. I will say, if any of you want a deep dive story, Harrison Smith's, the way he handles his preparation and all that, he is one of one. So if any of you want to dive deep on that, and he may not let you in, but sometimes I hear when eyebrows are raised, like, really? That's your routine? Like, that's okay. But you can't argue with results. So, yeah, he and I would probably differ quite a bit on how we go about getting ready Sunday to Sunday.
He apologized for us if he's hurt in that.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's unusual because it's like over the top, or just?
Well, I said to him
unique in the
once,
way-
like, what do you like to eat? And he said, I'll just put like shredded cheese on a plate and microwave it, and then I'll just eat it. And this was years ago. This was a few years ago, but I'm like, I've never done that, so, and he would probably deny that, or I probably got that wrong, but that just gives you a hint into some of the stuff where you're like, really? Okay. It's pretty good for a world-class athlete, so he's got a few deals, but it works for him. And I think part of what works for him is that he knows what works, and he's not going to try to reinvent himself.
Yeah, the other day, Tom Compton was honored, your good friend in
Yes.
for
Great
something
question.
that you and he did together, helping finance,
Yeah.
building down there. And that's kind of with the Netflix, what you do off the field. What did that mean to you
Yeah.
and to do that with him? Because he talked about us, kind of scared he was to ask you for donations,
So Tom and I, I remember meeting him at the Dulles Airport when I got drafted, and we're getting picked up for rookie mini camp. Hi, I'm Kirk. Hi, I'm Tom. I think I met you at the combine, kind of a thing. And a few weeks later, we're roommates. We roomed together for 2 years before I got married. And I would say, now, where are you from? And he'd say, I'm from Rosemount, Minnesota. And I always mispronounced it because I would call it Rosemont, because that's where I was from near in Illinois. And Rosemount, Minnesota. And then I found when we moved here, I live basically in Rosemount, Minnesota, and all my kids go to activities in Rosemount. So it's a small world to think that my roommate in Washington for 2 years, Tom, my teammate here, we played together for 5 years, probably my best friend in pro football. You know, I now live where he grew up. So when he goes into the Dakota County Hall of Fame, it's kind of a no-brainer to be able to send a video and congratulate him on that and be a part of whatever he's doing in the community with the Hope Field House. And so it's been a fun connection there.
Last couple for Kirk.
As far as your own off-season preparation and the body work stuff, anything going into this year that you've added new or fancier to keep that body together?
It's funny you ask. Yeah, a big one. I hired a guy full-time. So I just said, you know what, we had never done that, and I just felt like, you know what, I'm going to go all in. Tom had, Alex Guerrero, and I just felt there was a lot of merit in saying, hey, I got a small window here to maximize, and if I play 1 year more than I otherwise would have because I took it this seriously, then that's well worth it. So decided to go full-time, and so that'll be, every free moment I'll be running home to get work, and I think that's time will tell. But I'm excited about not only the benefit of the health, but the peace of mind it gives me, because I know I can just show up, turn my brain off, and he's going to handle it. And I think that's a big help. What's that?
Go ahead.
I'll say, who'd you hire?
He's a guy named Chad Cook. Chad's from Atlanta. We've worked together for a long time, but just felt like it was important to. I was tired of doing the deal. Send me an email, let me know what I need to do. I'll try to do it. I was like, this is for the birds. You got to just hold my hand all the way through it all season long, and I can just show up. And I got too many other things in my plate, and. We did the whole month of June together, and that worked really well, and so we'll just keep that going.
Peace of mind. Kwesi mentioned that they are talking to your people yet about a potential extension. Is there a point in the season you would just say, let's not talk about that, or where are you at it other than what you've said before, that you just take it one day at a time, one season?
Yeah, so my people is just Mike McCartney, and Mike's done it for years. Mike. I tell Mike, you don't call me until you got something that's worth talking about. The last thing I want to deal with is, this is where we're at today, and I'll call you tomorrow. It's like, no, I've lived that too many times in February and March. You just call me when there's something that you need my feedback on. Until then, Mike, we've done this for 12 years. I'll trust you to handle it. So, I just let Mike do his job, and my expectation is, until he calls me, I'm just able to focus on football, and he shouldn't be calling me unless there's something of note.
So with the bodywork guy, how much will he kind of work with you on a weekly basis? Is this going to be at your house or?
Yeah.
How does this?
I think similar to the Netflix doc, I don't want to get too much where it's like, who's this guy? He's not part of the team. What's going on? So I'm self-aware enough to know, like, let's keep it, separate. But yeah, he'll be at my house mostly, and there'll be moments where maybe I'll ask Kevin if he can dip into a room here or there. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm still new to this, so I just feel that this is something serious enough. My health, staying on the field, being around a long time. It's not worth cutting corners. Like, let's go all in. Let's overcommit to this if we have to. If I'm guilty of that, I can live with that.
Last one. Can you say, if I can just get one more year?
Yeah.
Is that tied to Cooper Saint? What is the why behind that?
It's a great question, and we could probably talk a while on that. I think I've been given a gift, and I've lived this my whole life. I used to sit there in middle school, look up at the stars in the summer, see a shooting star, and everybody make a wish. My wish was to be a pro quarterback. So I'm going to do all I can to maximize that. And shame on me if, there was more out there to get and I didn't do all I could. So even if it ends after this year, I got to feel like I walk away with peace of mind. I gave everything I possibly could, left nothing out there. And, it's been a long journey to get to this point. Let's take it as far as we possibly can and give everything we have. And so I believe whatever you do, you work at it with all your heart. And that's what I'm trying to do. And, we'll see how far we can go. But certainly I want to play long enough for my boys, be a part of it, remember it. And being a starting quarterback in this league is a privilege, and it's a platform. You have an opportunity to use that to impact people. And I may never have an opportunity as big a platform as I have right now to impact people. So let's maximize this platform as we have it right now to really use what I have to impact people rather than the other way around, which is so tempting in this league, to use the people around you to get to where you want to go. Let's use, where we are and the platform we have to go impact people. And, I want to make the most of that. All righty. Thanks.